Thank you for joining us on this Easter Sunday for what we've chosen to call Just the Meat and Potatoes. It's about a 3-minute summary of Sunday morning's preaching and teaching, and I find it to be a great joy. This Sunday morning we looked at John chapter 20, and in this chapter John gives us 3 witnesses to the resurrection of Jesus. There's Mary Magdalene, who formerly had 7 demons. There's Peter, who had denied Jesus around the charcoal fire. And there's Thomas, who was perennially the doubter of everything and the skeptic. Certainly not the credible witnesses you would expect, except they had all had a personal encounter with Jesus and so been transformed by His presence that they became authentic witnesses to each of us. A part of the call of this chapter is to have a personal encounter with Jesus. I was reminded this morning that Mary made 2 trips away from the tomb. The first time she went to the tomb and found that the stone had been rolled away and the tomb was empty. Nothing really changed. She ran to speak to the disciples, Peter and John, and let them know that the body of Jesus was gone. The second time she walked away from the tomb, she had encountered the risen Lord and went to tell the apostles that Jesus had been raised from the dead. In this whole narrative, there's this tremendous call to a personal relationship with Jesus. Mary calls Jesus my Lord when she speaks to the man that she thinks is a gardener and said, "Where have you put my Lord?" Jesus speaks to Mary and says, "I have not yet ascended to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God," and commands her to go and speak to my brothers and tell them that I am ascending to my Father. The climax of the whole gospel for us is really down in verse 28, where Thomas, who was absent when Jesus had met with the disciples, eventually a week later encountered the risen Lord, and seeing His hands in His side, spoke volumes for John in the ending verses of the whole gospel when he spoke of Jesus and said, "You are my Lord and my God." In the season of the resurrection of Jesus, we're so reminded that it is a personal relationship with Jesus that transforms our lives. Sure, we have to be aware of one another. And certainly we're not just individuals out on an island doing our own thing. But nothing can take the place of a personal encounter with Jesus. On this Easter Sunday, may you know Him risen and alive in a powerful and personal new way. Thank you today for joining us for this story of the resurrection and for Just the Meat and Potatoes.